So those of you just joining us, we are bringing you round 4 of our legacy event. It is Kris King versus Tom Jacobson. Looks like we have Tom on the play here. And the thing about you mentioned too about turn 1 show and tell is actually the sneaky show can't reliably actually do that because they just put in Caracas or actually even put in a threat and then play their Caracas the next turn and just bounce your guy. However, show and tell in a sneak attack is a pretty good play.
Yeah. You gotta show the sneak. That's the secret to winning.
But then they show Phyrexian Revoker.
Oh, it's so good.
It is so good.
This matchup's so crazy.
So cray-cray. And so we see a Volcanic Island from Kris, which is not the land he necessarily wants to see there.
2-drop.
But we see
It's a Revoker.
And we have the Revoker. I'm going to guess that we're not going to need a spotter on this one. I'm guessing it's on Sneak Attack.
And it's not on anything. It's in the graveyard.
But it is in the graveyard.
And that puts Kris down to 19, relevant with the damage coming out of Tom. Let me see a ponder. You know, one of the best beats is when, so Revoker can't name lands, but Pithing Needle can. So sometimes you'll see people and their opponent will have, like Scalding Tarn, Valk in play because they want to next turn go off, right?
Yeah.
And then someone will just be like, Pithing Needle, and they'll be like,
whatever,
all right,
bro.
whatever resolves, and then there's like Scalding Tarn, double Stone Rain, yeah. So that's some fun times, and we see something Stoneforge.
So Stoneforge is going to give the clock that the Death and Taxes need to kind of stay in this game, and then the Wasteland's going to be able to tempo Kris a little bit, get rid of his Volcanic there, and now he's stuck on Basic Mountain.
So reasonably played Basic Mountain. Is it
plays one of Basic Mountain just to be able to actually sneak and show or sneak attack after multiple Wastelands.
Okay.
But it's definitely like one of the most awkward lands.
And I really like the way Tom sequenced there. He went tap my 2, play my Wasteland, cast my spell in case Kris, although unlikely, could be running Daze in his version.
Yeah, and we do see Daze sometimes. I think it's Huey Jensen plays Daze in his version of Seek and Show. But I think this, as we saw, the Force Will pitching Spell Pierce, that this is not the Daze version, this is Spell Pierce version.
Ooh, another Wasteland. Tom saying, I'm going to play Magic. You are going to watch. Which is my favorite kind.
We do see a third Volcanic from Kris. So apparently a land heavy hands doesn't mind just getting Wastelanded too much.
We suit up.
However, we will deal 5 and draw a card here.
There's a 3-turn clock. Exactly where Tom wants to be. Plays another land. Kris with the aggressive pass. Look at all these spells. Oh my goodness.
So we have Show and Tell and Dudes.
Maybe Tom isn't the nice guy we gave him credit for last time he was on. Just wasting his opponent out of the game. Kris is down.
So Kris now at 9.
Oh goodness, the port. He had his 3rd land too. Oh my gosh.
So Kris really needing to be able to show and tell this Crystal Brand, but don't know if it's going to be enough. You see Cavern of Souls come down, making all of whatever Tom wants to cast
probably Kithkin.
Uncounterable.
Kithkin or Elk.
Kithkin or Elk.
Maybe
Zubera.
Okay. Okay, we need land from Kris. We need land real bad. Oh!
We do see a land. We're going to cast Show and Tell here, it looks like.
Oh! Woo! Let's search the top 4, and he cracked them both at the same time, so he doesn't even have a chance of getting...
Oh, man. And we see a concession there. That is bad beats. The main board...
The one of main board, even Mind Sensor.
I don't know if it's one of, but it's pretty darn... It's 1 or 2, so... Oh, man. Tough break for Kris there, just getting Wastelanded, and then Aven Mind Sensor on your 2 fetches.
You gotta fetch 1 at a time.
Gotta fetch 1 at a time against the possible Aven Mind Sensor deck.
More fun stories from Tyler. One time, this guy, so it was he was playing this mill deck.
Yeah.
It was modern. I don't know, it was kind of more like a casual deck. And his opponent goes, so this is after board, turn 1, fetch, and then his opponent drops. He goes like Mind Braid Trap you 4 times. Had 4 in his hand.
Yes.
So that's just lethal. And then the opponent goes, like, expecting a concession, like, this guy gets all giddy, like, Mind Braid Trap you 4 times. Or, no, the Archive Trap.
Yeah.
The 13 mil one. And then his opponent goes, Mind Braid Trap. Move him off from the stack.
Oh my god, no.
And so like the opponent just like discarded 4 cards on turn 1 for nothing.
That did just happen.
Because he could have just gone like 1, 1, 1, 1. But
Instead,
4 at
you
once.
just got mind break trapped and therefore have discarded 4 cards.
You hear about some crazy things sometimes in Magic.
Why was he playing mind break trap in Modern?
I don't know. It's like some mill deck. I mean, like it was good. Like besides the fact that like Emrakul's and stuff, but like the deck ran the Hedron Crab and just a whole bunch of stupid stuff. The Phyrexian mana extirpate surgical extraction in case they had the Eldrazi because they get rid of the Eldrazi. I mean, it could spike games. It was more of a casual thing.
Sure. But why was the other deck playing mind break trap?
Because mind break trap's for the anti-storm.
Oh, I guess so. Yeah,
because they storm off and they're just like, nope.
Exile it too, so you don't get to pass and flames it back. That seems pretty good.
Yeah. So, I mean, crazy interactions.
Crazy things.
Lesson at home for everyone: fetch one at a time.
Fetch one at a time. Play your archive traps one at a time. Usually, just cast your spells one at a time. If you want to maintain priority, it's probably only to Infernal Tutor, Cracked Mind's Eye Diamond. That's the only one I can think of that you might want to do it for.
That's a tricky sucker on Moto, though. I've definitely lost games on Moto because I didn't hold control well enough. I didn't hold priority when casting my spell, and so I just cast my spell, and I was like, oh, I guess I just Infernal Tutor
for a Lion's Eye Diamond
for nothing. I'll search up this ritual in my hand or something.
All right, so we're probably just gonna go back. We are still shuffling up. I wonder what these turquoise dragon shields are doing here. Those look like possible rock paper scissors to me.
I'd be salty biscuits if I was Kris right now. Not only am I sitting there not drawing lands, and then I draw lands, and then, it hurts.
And for all that we know, though, Tom might have had the Caracasser anyway. Tom just sandbagging it until it was relevant. Because at no point in the game was he ever going to cast Sneak Attack. So, I mean, Tom still had outs even if he was able to cast a Show and Tell.
And
especially if he just puts an Emrakul.
I respect Tom for playing this deck. This is my least favorite deck in Legacy, and I complain about it all the time. It's not my idea of fun. My idea of fun is, storming off, putting in a big guy. I mean, always love the fatties, but the 2/2s, they just don't do it for me.
Mirror Crusader can be a 4/4 that draws you 2 cards.
That's a 4/4. That's completely different.
But
that's 8. That's 12 power. That's good. Let's put those in Stoneblade. Oh man.
Mirror Crusader can get huge. Brimaz is actually pretty big, and it does exist in this deck.
Oh, and then Tom is just showing us wow, my hand is so good and Kris is so mulliganing, I think.
And now we have a camera out of focus, so I'll be right back.
We have Caracas and Mom and Itherbile from Tom. The cards you want to see, not so much Mom, but it's definitely a good time. And if you viewers want to, message in what's your favorite Legacy deck, we can talk about those a little bit. Maybe try to get one of those on camera next round because we do have a couple 3-0s running around.
Hopefully, we're going. Whoop! Quick change, and we are back in focus. There we go. So we see fetch a basic island. Kris has learned from his previous blunder. Don't keep triple Volcand. We will be seeing islands and mountains from here on out.
Yes. Or he's just ambitious, and it's just I don't think you have wastelands. I'm going to fetch the Volks anyways.
I mean, sometimes you don't have the option of playing around it, which is kind of the power of the Death and Taxes deck. Or, you see it a lot in Rug Delver. It's well, if you have Stifle, I lose. You're holding it up this entire game. I just lose if you have it. And then they just end up not having it, and you're well, then why did I just waste those 3 turns playing around Stifle?
So back to my hatred of Death and Taxes. I would just much.
Do we have to go back to that?
I mean, we're back here. I would much rather be playing Fish than Death and Taxes.
That deck is. I don't want to say it's god awful.
It's phased out.
It's pretty god awful.
We can play Thoughtseize and Underground Sea. Just saying. Get some Sig River Cutthroat in that. That's a good
Sig River Cutthroat.
Yeah, dude. If you did 3 damage, draw a card.
Oh. You can actually not cast Blood Moon off Ancient Tomb Islands?
That is just super not allowed. What? Silly. That is not a Flood Moon. That is a Blood Moon. Okay, we'll be paying a red mana for that. I was actually on this MTG. It's like the subreddit, and it had basically it was a Photoshop version of Blood Moon, and they called it Flood Moon. And it was non-basic lands or islands. Really cool. It had like a picture of a dolphin in the moon. It's exciting.
Ooh-wee.
Everyone should look that up if they're online right now.
Flood Moon. That's pretty good.
I would play Flood Moon. I wish we could do a cube that like had made-up cards, but they were not overpowered. They were just pretty good. And we see Cavern on Human, aka Mountain, into Thalia.
So we might see a counterspell here, but we see a Brainstorm
Brainstorm.
first. And so, like, I don't think Tom actually minds if he sees a counterspell here. Getting 2 cards out of his hands. Like, clearly, I don't think Kris is telegraphing that he has the combo in hand. So I don't think he minds seeing a counterspell on the Thalia here.
That was some real awkward stuff. I don't know how much. So you have to board in Blood Moon, right?
Because of Caracas.
For Caracas.
Yeah, specifically for Caracas. But then it makes you slower because you don't have your soul lands. And then also makes your mana base a little bit more awkward.
And then especially then with the Thalia backup, things get real expensive. And we see a shuffle off this Ponder. I think Kris might have been banking on the fact that he had that Lotus Petal for his 3rd mana,
Right.
potentially.
Possibly.
It's real tough times in the Kris camp. Alternatively, what we could have seen was him fetch Volk, and then cast the spell, and then have his 1 petal for the blue mana.
Right, but then I mean the turn 1 Wasteland from Tom would have been kind of devastating there too.
Sure,
Cards
whatever.
exist. So we see an activation of Ether Vial at the end of turn, putting in Mother of Runes. So that Thalia is pretty much staying on the field for the rest of the game.
I mean, I wouldn't mind to see a battle actually out of Mother of Runes, because like, what's he gonna do?
Pyroclasm.
I guess.
Pyroclasm's a very real card.
Who does that?
So we will probably not see a battle from the Mother of Runes.
All right. He floats 2 mana. That's
and
aggressive.
takes 2.
Not mana burn though. Straight up damage. Flood Moon plus Choke. Yes. That is a good combo. Although
So we see a Pyroclasm. Pyroclasm will be able to take care of the Mother of Runes basically because he's just going to keep Thalia on the field.
damn it, Glenn, you're so smart.
What?
You knew you were in Pyroclasm. I'm such a fool, I forgot.
He runs 3 Pyroclasms.
Dang.
I know, it's really hateful.
So yeah. Someone in the chat says Flood Moon plus Choke, OP. Those enchant worlds though, I'm not sure how well that would work because you'd be locked out of the game too. But I do like it. It's
Oh, and
pretty
we see
hot.
another Phyrexian Revoker here. Or yeah, so we had one last game on, but that didn't resolve. But now we actually have one in play. Phyrexian Revoker probably naming Sneak Attack. So looking like Kris is out is Show and Tell. But then if
Pyroclasm. More Pyroclasms.
more Pyroclasm,
Yeah, he's got like 2 or 3, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
3. Looks like we're flooding out though.
He's gonna get to Emrakul soon.
His Blood Moon is.
Oh
a
my
flood.
gosh, that's a 4/4, and we're in. We're on a card I like. We can't can't lose the matchup now. He's adding 5 mana. Grizzlebrand Hardcast Flash.
And that is game. Yeah, Death and Taxes being able to take it. Enough interaction from his deck so that Kris just really couldn't get his feet off the ground, especially when he's flooding out like that. So Sneak Attack next turn, though.
So it wasn't a Blood Moon. It was a Flood Moon.
It was a Flood Moon.
Oh my goodness.
I already made the joke.
Damn it.
You missed it.
I'm just reading the chat like a good streamer over here.
So that was a pretty quick round 4. That was actually our 2 XOs playing in the finals there. But we'll probably be bringing you another game. Kind of like how I expected the games to play out. Blood Moon is such a really awkward card to bring in.
Yeah, I don't like
It kind of like shuts off your own mana base a little bit and then makes it so like it only shuts off their Caracas. They're still able to cast spells. They still can cast like all their spells because they have 10 planes in the deck. And Ether Vial, so kind of awkward there. I think he probably just wanted to see another couple of Pyroclasms or just, his actual spells like Show and Tell and Sneak Attack.
Yeah, it's kind of like the Bant standard decks that like play Sylvan Caryatid to ramp them into the Wrath effect kind of deal.
Or yeah, the I remember last ender they were playing like Avacyn's Pilgrim like Angel Serenity deck where they're just like ramping into Angel Serenity and Bant and then they just go like Avacyn's Pilgrim and then it gets the what was it called? What was that deck called? The red, white, green Naya Blitz.
Naya Blitz.
Naya
Oh, God,
Blitz.
that
There it was.
terrible.
Yeah, so like just a deck that like wins on turn 3, so your only way to beat them was like Avacyn's Pilgrim
Into turn 3
into
Wrath.
turn 3 Wrath, and it's just like you have to 2-for-1 yourself, but then
Yeah.
you just win from there. I mean, you're just casting like actual spells like Thrag Tusk, so
Swag Tusk.
Swag Tusk, man.
Man,
Yeah,
rest
so
in peace in bulk Vince.
kind of a quick couple of games, just Death and Taxes really being able to do its namesake, tax the sneak attack deck well enough, and just swing for it with 2/1s for
Death.
days till death. So we will be coming back shortly. That was our finals. Death and Taxes taking it today, but we will be back shortly, hopefully with another game. So
Yep.
Stay tuned, guys.